Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back on the Star Wars The Vintage Collection figure review. Today taking a look at the newly released Ahsoka Tano Peridia version from the Ahsoka series when she's done, having the whole dream sequence thing and puts on her new getup. A figure I definitely wanted to get at some point, but one I wasn't super rushed to get, but for whatever reason, Walmart Canada's website, they had a bunch of like new Vintage Collection and Black Series figures that were coming out soon already on discount. So I figured I might as well pick it up while it's on sale because it's a figure I didn't really want to pay full price for, if I'm being honest. Yeah, let's take a look at the packaging first. This figure version of the character has a TVC and a Black Series release. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get the Black Series version. I'm trying to cut down a bit on Black Series and trying to cut down on getting multiples of the same character in the two different scales. There's not really much point. But this one looks pretty nice on the card back, I'll say. I think it's a pretty good image. I think that's when they're attacking Thrawn's base, the fortress there. But pretty cool image. Ahsoka Tano, Peridia figure, Ahsoka logo. Pretty cool card back if you're a mint on card collector. Then picture of the figure, the card back, and a brief write-up to give you an idea of the character, why she looks like this, if you haven't watched the series. But I'm assuming if you're interested in the figure, you probably watch the series. Anyways, that's it for the card back though, so let's take a closer look at the figure. Alright, I got Ahsoka out of the packaging, and it's a pretty cool figure. I was, like I said, I was kind of wondering how much reuse this figure would have, because I felt like maybe it'd be a lot of reuse of the Mando / earlier season of Ahsoka, the first look she had in live action. There is a little bit of reuse, but it's mostly actually a new figure, which is cool. Although it still does kind of feel like the same figure because they're still kind of similar in design, so they still feel the same kind of, but they're a fair bit different, so that's pretty cool. But taking a look at the head sculpt is new. There is a couple ways to tell. One is her little head tendril thingies are longer, as well as the little headband thing she wears is a different sculpt. So it's a different sculpt, and I will say, I'll do a comparison, but I do think that the likeness, both in sculpt and face print, I think looks a lot better on this figure. The old one is not bad, but yeah, I think this one's a lot closer to looking like Rosario Dawson in the getup than the other one was. But the printing for her features looks pretty good. It's fairly clean. The face tattoos or markings or whatever those are supposed to be, I think also look pretty good and clean, as well as the headband. And then the markings on her tendril thingies are clean for the most part. Pretty nice. Another kind of interesting thing is these are a bit more pliable plastic than some of the previous Ahsoka releases, which is cool. And then the rest of the figure, the upper torso, or the torso just in general, is actually a new piece with new sculpted detail. It looks pretty nice. The upper arms are a reuse, but they work well enough. The paint's a little iffy in these little exposed spots in the wraps where skin's showing, but it's not too bad. I do like that they got the skin tone painted on her back where the skin is exposed, more consistent with the color on her shoulders. The old figure, the color of her skin tone on her torso was a way off, so that looks a lot better. Then the forearms and hands are new. She's got the new samurai style kind of forearm armor, which I think looks nice. It's got a nice silver paint, and the wraps are sculpted and painted over top, which looks pretty cool. The waist piece is also a new sculpt. It's very similar to the old one, but it is new. She's missing a little thing on the front that the other version had, and there's a couple, this like little bit is a bit different, but some nice paint on the beads and different ropes she's got there on the belt, and the sash in the back is a good way to tell as well. She didn't have this on the or she did have this on the first figure, but the strands from the tie are actually longer on this figure. Then these upper legs, these are reused from the older Ahsoka, and then the lower legs, the shins and the feet are new to have that new armor as she wears with this outfit. Again, that nice silver paint on the feet and the shins I think looks pretty nice. But overall, it's a good looking figure, and I definitely think it's a better looking figure than the old one. Like I said, I think the likeness on the face is much better, and I also just prefer this look a little more. I like the kind of samurai sort of look of the armor on the forearm and the legs. I think it's cool looking. Articulation wise, you do have a dumbbell joint at the neck, but you are going to have a lot of hindered articulation because of the head tendrils. But you can get her looking side to side, not really up, and maybe only a little bit down. There's not a whole lot of movement there. Hinges at the shoulders move quite far out. They fully rotate. Single hinges at the elbows, they move about 90. Only swivels at the wrists. No hinges, which is a little unfortunate. I'm assuming it's because her forearms are pretty small, but I don't know. It would have been nice if they could have tried to work some hinges in there. She does have like a dumbbell ball joint at the torso. You're pretty much only getting waist swivel out of it though. Maybe a little bit of back and forward and pivot, but not too much. Hip joints forward, split out decently far. The waist piece can hinder it a little bit. That's not too bad. You can get them out pretty far. Then you have swivel cut to the thigh there. A pretty large knee joint that goes past 90. Can look maybe a little unsightly, but it does the job. Then hinges at the ankles that have a tough time going up because of the sculpt. Go down, no problem, and rocker for pivot. So pretty good articulation. Not really too much to complain about. Any of the limitations I pretty much expected with this character, so pretty good overall. And in terms of accessories, you get her lightsabers, which I believe are also just reused because she didn't have new lightsabers when she was at this look. But you got the standard sized one. Some nice paint on the hilt. Both blades are this clear white. The Black Series one figure that I have with the older look had a much more like actual white blade instead of this clear kind of plastic. I kind of prefer that because it kind of simulates the color of her sabers in the show a bit better, but these still work fine. And you've got the Shoto blade as well with some nice paint. And you can have her grip those no problem. I said no problem. There we go. Those are the only accessories she comes with though. It would have been nice if she came with some unlit hilts. For some reason, they don't like giving Ahsoka figures unlit hilts in 3 1/4 inch. Also, pretty sure, if I remember correctly, she has a little poncho cloak thing that she wears. They don't like giving those to standard releases of Ahsoka either. I wish they did. But overall, you know, it's not bad. So I guess lastly, just quickly, some comparisons. I guess first, here she is with her Padawan apprentice, Sabine, the deluxe one from last year. I didn't realize how similar in height they were. I thought Ahsoka was maybe a little bit taller. She's a little taller, but not by much. They look pretty cool together. And then here she is with the previous Ahsoka 3 1/4 inch TVC figure. So they are similar, but like I said, like I think the old one's likeness is still good, but I think the new one has better colors for the skin tone. I think it just has a better looking likeness, sculpt-wise and print-wise. You can see the arms are the same at the top, but then they're different at the forearms. The waist pieces are similar, but they're different. You can see there's a bit of a difference in the front and on the sides there, as well as in the back. But the legs are the same except for the lower. You can see there. So yeah, very similar feeling figures, but a lot different with the new one, which is nice. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I thought the torso was a new sculpt, but I actually don't think it is. No, it actually isn't. The torso is not a new sculpt, so a little less new than I thought it had. But still, it's fine. So overall, I think it's a cool figure. Do I think it's an absolute must-have? It depends, honestly. I know if you're like a big fan of Ahsoka, and especially if you're a fan of the show, and you collect 3 1/4 inch TVC, then yeah, I definitely would recommend it. It's an important one to have. It's her, you know, big new look from the show, and it is my personal favorite out of the 2 live action 3 1/4 inch Ahsokas that I have. I do prefer this new one over the old one, although they both are similar, but I do think this one is a little better with likeness and all that, and she doesn't want to stand. I wish she kind of had a boot cut. But overall, pretty cool figure. And if you are a fan, then I would definitely recommend. Maybe wait for a sale. I can't see this figure flying off the shelves, so you might be able to get it for cheaper. But I mean, if you really want it, then I definitely recommend it. Anyways, that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.